You know that feeling, right? Where you're diligently doing all the right things for your health, focusing on good food, getting your workouts in, maybe even meditating.
Hmm.
But despite all that effort, you just feel, well, off. Like your body and mind are kind of working against you.
Yeah, something's just not clicking.
Exactly. Maybe mood swings are suddenly really intense, or sleep, which used to be fine, is now like this frustrating, elusive thing.
Or the brain fog. That's a big one I hear about.
Or brain fog, yeah. Makes clear thinking feel like wading through treacle. And then, okay, maybe you finally go get help, right?
Right, you talk to a professional.
And you walk away feeling, I don't know, dismissed, like your very real concerns are just, a normal part of getting older. Or even worse, maybe it's all in your head.
Ugh, that phrase. It's definitely not just a feeling, and it's certainly not all in your head. That whole scenario you just described, it's remarkably common. Oh, yeah. Far too many women grapple with it, often in silence, kind of internalizing these struggles, thinking it's some personal failing instead of, a physiological reality.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what we're here to tackle today. We're taking a real deep dive into women's wellness after 40, hormones, health, and harmony.
Good title.
Right. We're going to unpack why women over 40 so often face these significant mental and emotional health challenges. And these challenges, they're deeply intertwined with hormonal shifts, all the daily stress, and yeah, even societal expectations.
Hmm. It's a complex mix.
It really is. So our mission here is to pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge, the key insights from the sources we've looked at. We'll explore those often unacknowledged reasons behind these feelings.
The why.
Exactly, the why. And then, crucially, move into concrete, actionable strategies.
Mm.
Finding a path back to balance, feeling vital again, finding that harmony.
Think of it like a shortcut, a way to truly understand what's happening inside your body and mind.
Yeah, so you can feel empowered,
Yeah.
right? Not overwhelmed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We want you to see these symptoms as signals, not like a life sentence. And that unlocking your full potential after 40, it's absolutely doable.
Okay, let's unpack this then.
The unique landscape of women's wellness over 40. Unpacking the why.
So let's start by just setting the stage, understanding what we're calling the unique landscape of women's wellness over 40. Because honestly, what seems missing from so many conversations about women's health is that fundamental why.
Right. Why is this happening?
Yeah. Why are so many women feeling this deep sense of being unwell, even when they're doing what they're told is right? Our sources kept highlighting this. Well, it feels like a silent struggle where the conventional wisdom just it falls short. It leaves women feeling like they're kind of shouting into a void.
That's such a critical point.
Mm.
Our sources show that many women over 40 consistently report significant mental and emotional health challenges. This isn't just, a few stories here and there.
It's a pattern.
It's a widespread, documented experience.
Mm.
Think about it. That persistent low mood, sudden anxiety spikes, feeling constantly on edge, or just this profound sense of overwhelm that seems to appear out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And what's particularly frustrating and honestly kind of heartbreaking is how often women feel unheard or dismissed,
Yeah.
despite having very real, sometimes debilitating symptoms.
They're told it's normal.
Exactly. But it feels anything but normal to them.
It's infuriating, isn't it? You go in with real tangible symptoms, maybe fatigue that sleep just doesn't touch, or sudden panic attacks, or those night sweats.
Oh, yeah. Or the memory lapses. That's a scary one.
Totally. That
Yeah.
make you question your own mind. And you can leave the doctor's office feeling just dismissed, overwhelmed. Your symptoms are brushed off as just getting older.
Or worse, maybe it's just stress,
Yeah.
or you need an antidepressant.
Right. When really there's this complex interplay of physiology and external factors going on. And framing it as just getting older, it doesn't just miss the complexity.
No, it almost normalizes suffering.
Exactly. It normalizes what are often very treatable symptoms, leaving women feeling like it's inevitable, not something they can actually address and feel better from.
And that leads us right into what is, for so many, the biggest why.
Yeah.
That hormonal roller coaster. It's so much more than just, what people casually call mood swings.
Oh, absolutely. We're talking about fundamental shifts in the whole symphony of hormones that have regulated a woman's body for decades.
Right.
As women approach and navigate perimenopause and then menopause, you see these dramatic, sometimes really erratic fluctuations, and then generally a decline in key hormones like estrogen and progesterone.
And this isn't just a side note in aging.
No way.
I've
It's
been,
a primary, powerful driver of those common, often deeply distressing symptoms we were just talking about. It's like the conductor of your internal orchestra suddenly changed the music mid-performance without telling anyone.
that's a great analogy. And these shifts, they have a direct, undeniable impact on mood and mental well-being.
Mhm.
The sources clearly link these hormonal changes to intense mood swings,
Mhm.
feelings of depression, increased anxiety. It's not just being emotional.
Yo.
It's a biological response.
Yeah.
It's changes in brain chemistry, neurotransmitter function, all directly tied to these hormones. Like estrogen plays a big role in serotonin production, right?
Feel-good neurotransmitter.
Exactly. So when estrogen dips and bounces around, serotonin can too. And that can lead straight to feeling blue or irritable.
And within that whole hormonal picture, we really need to talk about progesterone. Its role is critical.
Definitely. It's often called nature's Valium.
Right. For good reason.
Yeah.
It has this calming sort of anti-anxiety effect on the nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
So when progesterone starts to decline, which it often does pretty significantly in perimenopause, it directly contributes to sleep problems.
Like insomnia, waking up in the middle of the night.
Totally. And increased anxiety, even panic attacks for some women. So think about it. If your body's natural calming agent starts to disappear, what's the impact?
Your nervous system has less buffer. It struggles to cope with everyday stress or even just settle down at night.
You're left feeling more vulnerable, less resilient, kind of perpetually on edge.
That makes complete sense. And it's not just estrogen and progesterone. We also need to talk about cortisol,
The stress hormone.
our main stress hormone, yeah. It also tends to rise with age for many women, or it becomes chronically elevated because of all the accumulated life stress.
So if you've ever felt yourself like more prone to flying off the handle.
Right, or that sudden surge of irritation that feels way out of proportion.
Yeah.
It's essential to understand that's often not a character flaw. It's not you failing.
Yeah.
It's often a physiological response to that chronic high cortisol. Your stress response system is just stuck in overdrive.
Wow. So if you've been feeling these sudden mood shifts or more irritable or just wound up all the time, it's crucial to get that there's likely a profound biological reason for it. You are definitely not alone, and it's a signal. Your body's trying to tell you something needs attention.
And it gets even more complex, unfortunately,
Right.
when we layer in the compounding weight of stress, the impact of past trauma, big T or little t trauma, and how that leads to a perpetually dysregulated nervous system.
Yeah, tell me more about that.
Well, sadly, across the board, women tend to carry a higher burden of stress than men, often due to societal roles, expectations, that mental load people talk about.
The juggling act.
Exactly. And importantly, women also have disproportionately high rates of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, even when they've experienced similar traumatic events as men. It's not about weakness. It's complex biology and societal factors mixed together.
So this chronic stress, maybe unresolved trauma, it creates a situation where the nervous system gets stuck.
Pretty much. Chronically dysregulated. Instead of smoothly switching between rest and digest mode and fight or flight mode,
Like it's supposed to.
right, the body gets stuck, often in this persistent state of low-level alarm, which leads to sustained high cortisol levels. It's like your body is constantly on alert, even when there's no real danger present.
That sounds exhausting, like having a car idling really high all the time.
Exactly. Eventually, something's going to wear out or break down. And here's where it gets really impactful for your daily life, especially cognitive function.
Okay.
Chronic high cortisol isn't just about feeling stressed. Our sources point to research showing it can actually lead to decreased brain volume and negatively impact memory in women, particularly around age 48.
Wow, decreased brain volume. That's serious.
It is. And it can show up as feeling constantly scattered, struggling to remember names or details, finding it harder to learn new things, or just, where did I put my keys again?
Relatable.
It really illustrates why managing stress isn't just about mood. It's critical for preserving our cognitive sharpness and brain health as we age.
And the modern world just piles on, doesn't it? The pace, the demand.
Oh, absolutely. It amplifies this whole storm.
Yeah.
The constant demands of work, family, plus environmental toxins in our food, air, water.
And all the ultra-processed foods everywhere.
Yeah. Yes. Those can further mess with cortisol and disrupt delicate hormone balances. It's this collective burden that adds significant weight to an already stressed system.
Think about the sandwich generation phenomenon.
Oh, that's a huge one.
Yeah.
Women navigating demanding careers, raising kids, and caring for aging parents.
Literally squeezed between intense caregiving roles.
Exactly. It puts this seemingly endless demand on your system, with very little chance for real rest and recovery, making that chronic cortisol almost inevitable for so many.
Which leads us right into another huge piece of the why, the vicious cycle of sleep disruption and brain fog.
Yes, they are so tightly linked. It's not just I'm tired, it's a systemic issue impacting everything.
It really is. Like, insomnia affects women at double the rate of men.
Double. Wow.
Yeah, and it often gets significantly worse during perimenopause and menopause. And it's not just general restlessness.
No, it has specific causes.
Right. Those hormonal changes, night sweats from estrogen drops,
Yeah.
anxiety from low progesterone, but also the increased demands of caregiving, and even just that increased rumination, your mind racing at night.
Lying awake, overthinking everything.
Exactly. And here's the truly vicious part of the cycle. Poor sleep isn't just tiring, it actively raises cortisol levels.
Oh, great. More cortisol.
Yep. It increases insulin resistance, which affects your blood sugar, and then leads to those intense carb cravings the next day.
The sugar cravings after a bad night's sleep.
Totally. So you get caught in this negative feedback loop. Poor sleep, higher cortisol, wonky blood sugar, carb cravings, maybe poor food choices, worse sleep, and round it goes.
It's so hard to break out of that cycle.
It really is. And the science of brain fog connects directly here, too. Insulin resistance, which gets more common after 40 due to metabolic changes and all that stress, can lead to something called cerebral hypometabolism.
Meaning?
Basically, your brain isn't using glucose, its main fuel, as efficiently as it should. It's like trying to run your brain on sputtering fuel.
Like a dim light bulb.
Exactly. Your brain literally has less energy available for complex thinking, and that directly causes that frustrating mental haze, the difficulty focusing, the memory issues. It's not a lack of effort. It's a metabolic challenge in your brain.
That's fascinating. So if you've felt like you're walking through fog, or can't focus, or can't get refreshing sleep, understand that these things are deeply connected. They're not a sign you're failing somehow. They're powerful signals from your body.
Signals that often get ignored or dismissed, right? Which brings us to societal pressures and medical dismissal, adding insult to injury.
Yes, this is a huge frustration cited in our sources. Women are often subjected to this healthcare approach that just doesn't consider their unique physiology.
For one-size-fits-all trap.
Exactly. Advice based largely on male models. Think about all the big medical studies done mostly on men.
Right, and then applied to everyone.
Yeah, and it just doesn't work the same way for women's complex hormonal and metabolic systems.
So as a direct result, many women report feeling just dismissed, invalidated, unheard by their doctors. You go in with your symptoms and you get told, oh, just exercise more and eat less.
Simplistic, often unhelpful.
Totally. Or you're only offered birth control pills or antidepressants without anyone digging deeper into the underlying hormonal issues or the stress or anything systemic.
It's incredibly disempowering. It makes you feel unheard, misunderstood, maybe even hopeless when you're just looking for real help.
And layered on top of that are the societal expectations pushing women to overfunction.
Oh, yeah. The constant juggling, demanding careers, complex family roles, running the household, caring for everyone else.
All without prioritizing their own needs or getting enough rest.
It leads straight to burnout. Not just physical exhaustion, but deep mental and emotional depletion.
And then there's that insidious conditioning, right, that teaches women to just suck it up.
Put on a brave face.
Yeah, always maintain that smile on your face, even when you are profoundly not okay inside. That expectation to present this facade of wellness, it just isolates you further, makes it even harder to admit you need help.
It's a deeply ingrained pattern, keeping women stuck in silent suffering. And let's not forget the relentless pressure about body size and looks.
Oh, diet culture.
Yes, pervasive diet culture. It leads to so much self-shame, that harsh inner critic, and this unhealthy, often obsessive focus on restrictive eating or over-exercising.
Our sources contrast this with genuinely empowering practices, right? Like maybe targeted fasting, which can be metabolically helpful for some.
Right. Versus just relying on new weight loss drugs like GLP-1s. It's about feeling empowered by choices that support your body's natural rhythms, not just chasing an external ideal or a quick fix.
This whole section really just screams the importance of self-advocacy.
Absolutely. And trusting your own intuition about your body, especially when you face external pressure or dismissive advice. You are the expert on your experience.
Your body has wisdom. We need to learn to listen to it.
Charting a course towards harmony, actionable strategies for well-being.
Okay, so we've really dug into the why. That complex mix of hormones, stress, sleep, societal stuff, it's a lot.
It is. But understanding the problem is the first most powerful step. towards solutions.
Definitely. So now let's pivot. Let's move from diagnosis to action. Charting a course towards harmony, exploring real, actionable strategies for well-being, for unlocking that vitality.
Stick to it.
And our sources suggest one of the most powerful foundational steps is actually pretty simple yet. Well, it can feel radically transformative.
It truly can. Dr. Mindy Pelz talks about this powerfully, the profound, liberating power of simply admitting, first to yourself and then maybe to others, I'm not okay.
Just saying it out loud.
Yeah, it's not weakness, it's the opposite. It can be incredibly freeing. It's a necessary first step that allows for real emotional processing. It opens the door for genuine support and healing, acknowledging reality instead of denying it.
It's such a contrast to that old chin-up buttercup mentality, isn't it?
Oh, completely. That encourages suppression, denial, forcing stoicism, shoving down your true feelings.
And it also highlights how important it is to be willing to just sit in the pain with someone else. Offer true support, not pity, just presence, validation.
Exactly. So for you listening right now, just consider what might open up if you allowed yourself to truly feel and express that you're not okay. Even just to yourself, what weight might lift?
That honesty, that self-acknowledgement, it feels like a gateway, right?
It really is.
Yeah.
A gateway to the next crucial step, prioritizing stress and cortisol management.
Okay, this came up a lot.
It's often highlighted as the first and most critical step for many women trying to improve their well-being, because chronic stress, high cortisol, it impacts everything.
Hormones, sleep, metabolism, brain function.
All of it. It's the silent conductor behind so many symptoms we've talked about.
So what can we do, practically speaking?
Well, one really impactful approach is integrating daily mind-body practices, making things like yoga or meditation a non-negotiable.
Even just 20 minutes.
Even just 20, 30 minutes daily. Studies show it significantly reduces cortisol levels. It's not just relaxing your mind. It's actively shifting your body's physiology out of fight or flight and into rest and digest. Calming the nervous system fundamentally.
Oh, okay, non-negotiable. I like that. What else?
Targeted supplements can also be really supportive here. Our sources mention adaptogens like rhodiola and ashwagandha.
I've heard of those.
They help your body adapt to stress, kind of balance its cortisol response more effectively, like a dimmer switch for stress hormones.
Okay.
Then there's phosphatidylserine, which can help blunt excessive cortisol, especially if it spikes later in the day. And foundational omega-3s, vital for reducing inflammation, which fuels chronic stress.
So not magic pills, but biological helpers.
Exactly.
Oh.
Used thoughtfully.
Right.
And it's also not just about moving, it's how you move.
Ah, the exercise piece.
Yeah. Maybe shifting away from chronic high-intensity cardio, which for some women, especially if cortisol is already high, can actually increase stress hormones. Yeah. Moving towards more adaptive exercises like Pilates, strength training, even just consistent walking in nature, that can be profoundly beneficial for cortisol management.
So working with your body, not pushing it further into overwhelm, listening.
Precisely. Listening, adapting your exercise to support, not deplete. And maybe most profoundly, creating and prioritizing environments and relationships that make you feel safe, supported, nurtured.
That feels huge.
It's absolutely critical for regulating your nervous system. You can do all the yoga, take all the supplements, but if your daily environment is chronically stressful or toxic, it's always going to be an uphill battle.
It's not just about feeling calmer, it's about deep physiological shifts.
Affecting every system in your body. Your environment truly shapes your internal state.
Okay, so environment is key. And speaking of foundations, optimizing sleep, that's non-negotiable too.
Absolutely. Crucial for overall health. Vital for cortisol regulation. Not just feeling rested, but foundational for vitality.
And for perimenopausal women struggling with sleep, the tossing, turning, waking up.
For them, our sources indicate oral progesterone can be a really valuable tool, when prescribed by a practitioner, of course.
Because it's calming, replacing some of that nature's Valium.
Exactly. It can directly help improve sleep quality for many women during that transition.
It's so important to remember, poor sleep isn't a badge of honor. It's not proof you're busy.
No, it's a critical signal. Your body needs attention.
So for you listening, what's one small step you could take tonight? Turn off screens earlier. A warm bath. Just committing to a consistent bedtime.
Even tiny shifts add up. Reclaiming your sleep is reclaiming your vitality.
Okay, moving on. Let's talk hormones again, but navigating balance and awareness beyond just estrogen, understanding the whole picture.
Right. So for women roughly aged 35 to 50, maybe experiencing symptoms like sleep issues, anxiety, heavy periods. A practitioner might strategically start with progesterone support.
Because it often declines earlier and more erratically.
Exactly. And it has those calming effects. It can often provide significant relief for those early perimenopausal symptoms.
And then later, maybe after 50, postmenopause, if symptoms persist.
That's when an estrogen patch might be introduced, usually alongside progesterone, especially if you still have a uterus, to protect the lining. It's a more staged, personalized approach.
Considering your unique journey, not just replacing hormones, but restoring a healthier rhythm.
Precisely. And here's where it gets really interesting, often surprising. Testosterone.
Right. Often thought of as a male hormone.
But it's actually the most abundant hormone in women. And it's critical for so much more than libido.
Like what?
Confidence, sense of agency, mood stability. Even building and keeping lean muscle mass crucial for metabolism and strength.
So if testosterone is low, women might feel less drive.
Yeah, less motivation, less of that get up and go energy, maybe finding it harder to reach fitness goals. But the good news,
What's that?
lifestyle changes like consistent strength training and getting enough protein can naturally boost your testosterone levels.
Oh, that's empowering. Things you can actively do.
Exactly. Helping you feel more vibrant, more assertive. And finally, thyroid function. Can't forget the thyroid.
The master regulator of metabolism.
Yes, energy, mood. Hypothyroidism is common in women, often missed or misdiagnosed. Its symptoms, fatigue, brain fog, weight gain, low mood, can really mimic perimenopause.
So getting a full thyroid panel is key.
Absolutely. Beyond just TSH. Treating any imbalances is crucial for overall metabolic and mental health, making sure that conductor is in tune too.
This whole section feels like moving beyond simplistic hormone replacement. It's holistic.
Yes. Considering multiple systems, leveraging lifestyle as foundational support, building a robust internal environment.
Okay, let's shift to something we do multiple times a day, often without thinking. Diet. Dietary adjustments for inner harmony, fueling your rhythmic self.
And this isn't about rigid dieting or chasing trends.
No, it's smart, intentional fueling for your unique physiology, for long-term vitality.
Exactly. First step, minimize the ultra-processed stuff.
The convenience foods, the junk.
Yeah. They mess with gut health, spike blood sugar, fuel inflammation. All bad news for hormones and energy. Instead, drastically increase diverse whole foods, especially vegetables.
Colorful ones, non-starchy ones.
Yes, aiming for maybe 30, 40 grams of fiber per day from these whole plant foods.
Yeah.
That's incredibly helpful for balancing estrogen, supporting detoxification pathways.
Helping get rid of excess hormones.
Okay.
And protein and healthy fats.
Absolutely key. Our sources mentioned aiming for maybe 100 grams of protein a day based on lean body mass. It's foundational for hormones, neurotransmitters, energy.
Not just muscle.
No. And pair that with healthy fats. Avocados, coconuts, nuts, seeds, olive oil, quality wild fish, maybe some wild game.
What do the fats do?
They support hormone production, promote satiety, keeping cravings down, and critically stabilize blood sugar.
Yeah.
Essential building blocks.
And speaking of blood sugar, managing that seems fundamental.
Totally. Especially for energy and brain function after 40. Tools like continuous glucose monitor, CGMs, they can be incredibly insightful.
Giving you real-time feedback.
Exactly. How specific foods, stress, even sleep affect your individual blood sugar. You might find that healthy smoothie spikes you way more than you think.
Wow. Personalized data.
Yes. Plus, focusing on eating for your microbiome, those gut microbes, rather than just your taste buds, that can actually change your cravings over time.
As your gut gets healthier, you start wanting healthier food.
Often, yes. Your body starts guiding you naturally towards better options.
It's amazing how connected the gut is to everything. Brain, hormones. It's an ecosystem.
It truly is. And connecting to that internal wisdom, that gut feeling that leads us to cultivating self-awareness, radical personalization, listening to your inner guide.
Tying back to trusting your intuition.
Yes, women have strong intuition. The sources emphasize listening to your own body's signals, becoming your own scientist, doing N of 1 experiments.
Meaning, trying something and seeing how it affects you specifically.
Exactly. Try eliminating dairy for 2 weeks. Track your sleep, mood, energy, digestion. Did it genuinely move the needle for you? Not just because someone else said it would. It's about finding what works for your unique body.
Reclaiming your agency again. And having a clear why helps too, right?
Oh, a powerful internal motivator. Whether it's being vibrant for your family, avoiding family health issues, or just feeling your absolute best.
That deeper purpose gives you resilience.
Absolutely. Helps you stick with things, even when it's tough or you're on a budget, gives you a compelling reason to show up for yourself.
And Julie Clark emphasized being gentle with yourself through all this.
Crucially important, remove the shame. Focus on long-term health, sustainable changes, fostering a loving relationship with your body, not chasing quick fixes or perfectionism.
It's about being an active, compassionate participant in your own wellness journey. You're worth it.
You absolutely are, and you are capable of profound healing.
Okay, finally, let's touch on exploring deeper healing modalities. Going beyond the conventional.
Because sometimes true, lasting healing requires looking deeper, addressing the roots of our suffering.
Especially if there's underlying trauma involved.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even what's called subthreshold PTSD, maybe not a full diagnosis, but still profoundly impacting the nervous system. Addressing that can be crucial for resolving those chronic cortisol issues, the hormonal imbalances.
If the body's stuck in a trauma response, it's hard to find balance.
Incredibly difficult, like building a house on shaky ground.
And the sources mention some newer approaches here.
Fascinating, promising ones, like MDMA-assisted therapy for PTSD or ketamine-assisted treatment for depression and other challenges.
How do those work?
In a safe, controlled therapeutic setting, they've shown really significant results helping people resolve deep trauma, leading to regained embodiment, better heart rate variability, a key marker of nervous system health, and much better sleep.
So tools for deep healing, moving through old blockages.
Exactly, helping people step into a fuller, more authentic self-expression, unlocking potential previously held back by past pain.
They're not quick fixes, but catalysts for profound change.
By addressing the root of psychological stress and trauma, they can unlock physiological shifts that ripple through the whole body, letting the nervous system finally regulate and rest, which impacts everything else.
And lastly, spiritual practices or religion.
Whatever that looks like for you, yes. It can provide a powerful grounding foundation. Coping with life's challenges, cultivating inner peace, purpose.
And love for oneself and others.
Yes, another vital layer of support for mental, emotional, even physical well-being, guiding you towards more harmony. Outro. Wow, we covered a lot. A truly comprehensive deep dive today into women's wellness after 40.
We really did. We started by acknowledging those significant mental and emotional challenges driven by hormones, stress, sleep issues, societal pressures.
Understanding the why.
Exactly. Then, crucially, we charted a course towards harmony, exploring that rich tapestry of strategies.
From the simple radical act of saying, I'm not okay.
Right, to prioritizing stress management, optimizing sleep, understanding hormones, adapting diet, cultivating self-awareness.
And even exploring those profound healing modalities like trauma therapy.
Yeah. What's really fascinating and I think empowering is that the ultimate goal, as the sources highlight, it's about bringing your body's intricate systems, metabolic, nervous, microbial, back into their natural rhythm, their harmony.
It's such a powerful reminder. Women are fundamentally rhythmic humans. Your body is incredibly sophisticated, incredibly wise. It's always trying to heal, to find balance.
If we give it the right support, the right understanding, the right compassion.
Exactly.
So what does this all mean for you listening? Maybe consider this. In a world full of generic one-size-fits-all health advice,
Yeah.
what profound insights, what untapped vitality might you uncover if you truly tuned into your unique body's rhythms, if you really listened to its innate wisdom?
That's a powerful question.
And what single supportive step, maybe one we talked about today, could you take right now, today, to help your body begin to rediscover its magnificent natural harmony, to help you step into your fullest, most vibrant self-expression?
That journey back to your most empowered self. It really does begin with that first intentional step.